Hi, everybody. Dan Ullman, Matt Bernier. The DRF.com Formulator Race of the Day for Wednesday, December the 14th. Race number 9 at Gulfstream Park. It's an allowance race, but maybe it's not your average allowance race because the number 1 Neolithic for Todd Pletcher, perhaps a gigantic favorite in this race, perhaps might end up going to the Pegasus World Cup.
Maybe this is his sort of prep to get to that point coming out of the Discovery up at Aqueduct. We'll find out. He's even money on the morning line. I would imagine he's probably going to go off in that ballpark.
Let's throw up the field for race number 9 at Gulfstream on Wednesday afternoon at 1 mile and a 16th for 3-year-olds and up. And remember, free Formulator Pass performances for this race available on the Race of the Day event page. Download, follow along with us. We'll begin with the heavy favorite, the number 1 Neolithic. Just missed in the Discovery last time out. It was a good effort. He was prompting the pace-setting winner, Stick Stately dude. Just couldn't get by that one. Maybe the blinkers just finally got this horse to focus because he had shown some talent in his earlier races, but a lot of times it looked like he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, the blinkers on certainly helped. There's a part of me that looks at that race as a whole, though. The Discovery, the pace was just glacial in that spot. Kind of compromised all the other contenders trying to come from off of it, and Stick Stately Dude and Neolithic won 2 the entire way. And you brought up an interesting point. Why is he here? Why isn't he running in the graded stakes race on Saturday?
I know that Todd's got a couple, in the nominations for the Harlan's Holiday, which is technically the local prep for the Pegasus World Cup. He's got Keen Ice, and he's got Made from Lucky, and he's got Stanford. Neolithic, though, his owners, Starlight Racing, actually have a spot in the race. So you would think he would run there for a little bit more money, but Neolithic's going to be real tough. And Javier, you got to think, he's not fooling around from the rail. This horse has speed. Just go.
I think speed nearest the rail, especially mile and 16th Gulfstream. You've got a quick run into that first turn. I don't think you get cute with it. Go on with it and try and last.
Neolithic is way the horse to beat. The number 2 is Ender's Cat. This horse just ran 11 days ago in the Claiming Crown Jewel, where he was 114-1 against Royal Posse, and he ran an even 5th, but at least his Beyer speed figure, he got to his career best.
Boy, jumping up in a big way recently. This entire form cycle off that long layoff, he's just started to continually get better. There's a part of me that looks at it and says he's just still not that good, though.
His only win came for a tag, a $35,000 a maiden selling tag, and 3 starts back, only beaten a length. That race for a beaten claimer probably needs a little bit weaker. The 3 Juan and Bean is our favorite punching bag in New York. He's 1 for 22 lifetime, 10 third-place finishes, and he's riding a 21-race losing streak going into this race. I don't think he's the worst non-winner as a 2-life horse we've ever seen. He just needs a little class relief, and he's not getting it here.
He's the kind of horse that has all the Beyer speed figures that you could possibly want, and it makes him look like a prime contender, but at the end of the day, he's Juan and Bina. He doesn't want to beat anyone. He is the kind of horse, though, if you're playing an exacta, a trifecta, a superfecta, you cannot play without using him because he's more likely than not going to hit the board.
The number 4 is Mongolian Holiday, lightly raced 3-year-old. He's taking on older foes, and he's going to be racing on dirt for the first time. Last time out, he just didn't do any running at all at Arlington Park. At least that runner-up came back to win on dirt at the fairgrounds with an 81 Beyer, but he needed a drop in a $30,000 beaten claiming to do so. I don't know what you get from Mongolian Holiday other than a big price.
There's a part of me that thinks this horse may need to drop into 30 to actually get back to the winner's circle.
The number 5, Tagore, didn't do much running last time out in an optional claimer on November the 20th. He's a lightly raced 4-year-old. He's a $375,000 yearling. Maybe there's a little bit of upside. The Gulfstream West track was a little speed-friendly last time out, but he's got to improve by leaps and bounds. At least getting back to big Gulfstream might help him.
Yeah, this is where he got his lone victory thus far, and boy, I mean, we talk about it. It's a tough game. You pay almost $400,000, and this horse doesn't look like he's panned out at this point as a 4-year-old. Again, he's only gone out 6 times. Maybe there's room for improvement.
6 is Curlin's Vow, who won his maiden in his 7th lifetime start. That was a 1-turn mile at Churchill Downs, and he came from last. And the horse that finished last came back to get an 85 Beyer speed figure when running 2nd in a New York-bred maiden at Aqueduct. I know this is one of your angles. A horse that takes a while to break their maiden does so. The Beyers are going the right way for Michael Tomlinson.
The bigger concern I have with him is the fact that he's just completely void of early speed. Right. And this race, other than Neolithic, we'll talk about a couple coming up, I don't think it's going to be any sort of breakneck pace early on, and I think it compromises a horse like that.
If Neolithic breaks and minds his manners, it seems he's a lot more focused with the blinkers. He's probably just going to go right to the lead. And maybe Todd's other horse, the 7 V's Boy, takes on a good tracking position, a $430,000 Keeneland September yearling. This horse was 2nd behind Russian Greek, who came back to win with an 87 Beyer speed figure in a similar 16,000 optional non-winners of one other than. He's getting better. He still has to improve, though.
Yeah, still needs to improve. This is a horse, you look at it also, he just takes money each and every time he goes out. I wonder if part of it is the tag. I wonder if part of it's Pletcher. It is worth noting that 80 Beyer, second best of his career, that came first time with the blinkers. So maybe, again, blinkers, maybe the equipment change has gotten him right.
A lot of folks are going to think that if the number 1 Neolithic stubs his toe, then the 8 Kismet's Heels might be the one to benefit. This is a $900,000 purchase. A son of Tapit, who finally got an opportunity to run on dirt most recently, and he was up against your son, Dazzling Gem, at Churchill Downs, and he did a lot of work in that race and was not embarrassed.
It was a very interesting race to go back and watch because Kismet's Heels was all out for quite some time, and it looked like he could easily run up the track. For a moment at the top of the lane, Churchill, you've got that long stretch. There was 5 of them across the track. Didn't look like anybody really wanted it. And then Kismet's Heels and Dazzling Gem, they kind of broke away from everyone. This horse battled on gamely. Maybe this is all he's wanted all along. I mean, they paid almost $1 million for him way back when. He used to be with Pletcher. How funny would that be if Pletcher gets beat with Neolithic by this horse?
It wouldn't be funny for Todd at
No, it
all.
wouldn't.
But at least for Mark Cassidy, he's got a little formulator fact in his corner for the number 8 Kismet's Heels. The past 4 years with 3-year-olds taking on older horses, making the third start off the layoff on dirt. It's an okay little number, 27%, 323. I don't think he's going to be up and on the pace in this race. I think Neolithic's a little faster than he. Kismet's Heels maybe sitting 3rd, 4th on the outside. Do you think maybe he's sort of a grinder that wants even a little more distance, and maybe this Gulfstream track might not play to his strength?
The way that he ran at Churchill would suggest that he'll just continue on and he'll run and run and run. Maybe a mile and a 16th. I think the other thing, too, like you said, Neolithic is probably just naturally a little bit faster. Going into that first turn, I mean, you've got such a short amount of time. Even if you were true speed from the outside, you're really in a tough spot because you're probably going to get hung wide no matter what.
Another 3-year-old in this field's the number 9, Fearless Dragon. This horse coming off a career Beyer top, 86 at Gulfstream West in his second start of the form cycle. It was only his second start around 2 turns. The first time, muddy track in the Sir Barton. Last time out, kind of a speed-friendly track. I thought Fearless Dragon had every chance in mid-stretch to get by the leader, and he just couldn't do so. I wonder if maybe there's a little hang here with Fearless Dragon. At the end of the day, though, he's still lightly raced, and the winner, Russian Greek's, I think, one of those hard-hitting 7-year-olds. On the flip side, he's a hard-hitting 7-year-old that was in for the 16 tag.
And that's the thing, too. I don't know if you want to draw any sort of comparison between the two. Russian Greek was the horse that defeated V's Boy most recently, too. So I'm kind of with you. I don't know what I really think of Fearless Dragon. Eric Gio, he's not normally in South Florida. Maybe now this is a new thing for these guys. But I don't know. If you think maybe he still has room for improvement, again, he's only a 3-year-old. Maybe he's just getting good now. I suppose you could say he'll jump up. That 86 doesn't put him that far out of it if you think Neolithic regresses to sort of a low 90, but at the end of the day, I don't know if I trust him.
If you feel that Eddie Please has gotten Kelly Tough right, he has races to suggest that he can be competitive at this level. He ran really well at Gulfstream last winter, then there was a layoff. He came back, he couldn't get to the winner's circle. Last time he was back down to even money, and he shows up with front wraps, and he absolutely bombs. That was a pretty live race, though. 3 next out winners. The winner's now undefeated from 3 starts. He came back to win with a 91 Beyer speed figure. I think this horse is a little more tactical than he's shown in recent races. What do we get off the bench?
Boy, that for me, that's kind of the million-dollar question in this race because I'm not really all that taken with Kismet's Heels. I picked him second. I don't really want to play against Neolithic, but I think if I'm going to take a shot with anyone, it's going to be Kelly Tough, proven at Gulfstream Park. You made mention, look, I'm not going to hold the 7-furlong race against him. I know that's preceded a long little layoff here, but that run 2 back, I know he got beat and he should have probably got the job done, but that race come back very live. You got a lot of next out winners in there. I don't know, I guess if I needed to absolutely play this race, I'd probably take a small shot with Kelly Tough from a wagering standpoint. I picked him 4th because I don't think he's the likeliest winner, but I think he'll offer some value.
Neolithic, I don't want to have a lot of money in against Neolithic, but if I had to take a shot, it'd be the horse just to the outside, Tough Post. The 11 Starship Zeus is no star. He's 2 for 25, 7 runner-up efforts. I thought his last race was okay. Now, if you think that Beyer is a little inflated, I can understand that. It was his career best in start number 25. But this is a horse that just hung out near the back of the pack. He made a nice little wide bid on the turn. He was about 4 or 5 wide into the stretch, and he tried. He couldn't get to the favorite, Rhythm Park. But looking at the chart of that race, the winner was up close, the third-place finisher was up close. He was the only horse making any kind of dent in the race from the back of the pack. Now, he may not get the pace he needs because I'm assuming this jock is just going to break and just get over to the inside, and he's given up a lot of ground going into the first turn. But maybe at 20-1 or so, if he doesn't win it, maybe he can clunk up and get a piece.
Yeah, why not? Again, I think that's really what the plan is with this horse. He doesn't have much speed to begin with. You break from that outside post going into the first turn, just take him back, make your one run. I think he's going to be compromised. I think anyone coming from way out of it is going to be pace compromised. But if you believe, I don't think that 88 is totally, ridiculous because he earned an 84, 4 starts back. So it's not like that was so far and away the best race of his career. I don't think he's a crazy horse to think underneath.
But you're not fooling around. Neolithic's way the horse to beat, 1-8-3-10. If he wins and wins impressively, it's possible, just possible. And of course, a lot depends on if California Chrome is stunned coming up this Saturday at Los Alamitos. He might end up in the gate for the $12 million Pegasus World Cup. If I had to take a shot against Neolithic, it would be with the 11 Starship Zeus. Fine, 11-1, 8-9 at Gulfstream Park, our race of the day, Wednesday's 9th. And if you're playing the Gulfstream Wednesday card from home, here's what you're going to do. Going to head on over to drfbets.com/free bet. $100 worth of free bets, $100 sign-up bonus, $25 free bet you get right off the bat once you sign up. It's a great deal. Try DRF Bets risk-free this winter. Approximate post time for race number 9 at Gulfstream Park on Wednesday, 4:32 Eastern. Good luck.